Our trip begins in the Grand Canyon National Park, where we hiked in from the Grandview Trailhead to spend 4 days hiking deep in the canyon. First day had us hiking from the Grandview Trailhead to Horseshoe Mesa, a few miles down for our first night's camp. With Horseshoe Mesa in sight, we couldn't help but turn around and look at the rim of the canyon where we began our hike, showing how quickly we descended deep into the canyon. As we got closer to the mesa, we saw signs of Pete Berry's mine, known as the Last Chance Mine, which produced some of the Grand Canyon's purest copper during the late 1800s. Still present on the mesa is the former miners' dining hall from over 100 years ago, which was a cool piece of history to check out. With the Grand Canyon having an extreme cold spell, temperatures reached around the mid-20s right below the rim, making for a cold and windy first day and night. On night one, we made camp on Horseshoe Mesa and watched the cotton candy skies float by during sunset.
Beautiful morning. Still a little breezy, but it's actually warmer than it was last night. But I was good last night though. I got a warm sleeping bag. It's day 2. We hiked the 3 miles down to Horseshoe Mesa. We're getting ready to pack up some camp and head down a few extra miles to Hance Creek. We're probably gonna make camp there tonight and do some cool day hikes today, so we'll see how that goes. It's another beautiful morning and it's friggin' freezing out here. Eesh.
For our second day, we left Horseshoe Mesa and dropped down the canyon walls to Hance Creek. We set up camp at Hance Creek and backtracked our steps up to Horseshoe Mesa, only to drop back down the other side to complete a full loop around the mesa for a fun day hike. Day 2 totaled around 12 miles.
Alright, we made it to Page Spring. There's a nice little spring tucked in the canyon full of some arsenic. Ranger warned us not to drink out of it, but it seems to be Derek's favorite water flavoring, so he's gonna go try it out real quick.
With temperatures hitting mid-30s, it was nice to feel the sun warm us up while hiking throughout the day. Once we got to Hance Creek, we set down our packs and set out to finish our day hike around the mesa before setting up camp for nighttime.
So after climbing all the way up and over Horseshoe Mesa, we dropped down into Cottonwood Creek. It was a really fun loop. We went all the way around the mesa and came back here to Hance Creek, and yeah, it was a good trip.
Woke up at Hance Creek this morning, made some breakfast. We're gonna pack up and make the big push down to the Colorado River for our last night before we hike out of here.
On day 3, we packed our stuff up and hiked out of Hance Creek all the way down to the Colorado River to Hance Rapids. We set our stuff down and explored the Escalante route before heading back to the rapids and setting up camp for the night.
Took a nice little spill and I bent my dang pole.
Once we made it down to Hance Rapids, we got a nice little show from some rafters heading down the Colorado. The last raft down got stuck on a rock before entering the rapids. Luckily, they were able to throw a rope to shore and get pulled off without tipping over.
Oh, that was good. Those guys.
Swimming in the sun, and I'm thinking I'm the only one. Oh, let the women in the village, and they all look at me. Ugly blackbird in the sky, and so
On day 4, we woke up at Hance Rapids ready to hike out one of the steepest trails in the Grand Canyon, the new Hance Trail.
I've been having visions of my personal hell. Doggy in the dark, dying, no dirty devil gonna come for me. Poison in the potion, fishes in the ocean. No, I don't like light.
During our hike out of the canyon, it was nice to think about all of the sights we just saw and how it must have been back then. Back when the differing Native American tribes came and went, living in and out of the canyon. Back when the first Spanish soldiers arrived at this giant hole in the earth and were unable to make it successfully to the bottom before retreating. Back when John Wesley Powell was the first person to navigate the entire Grand Canyon by boat. Back when the first miners constructed trails to their mines. This place is full of history, but even more worthwhile is the beauty of the Grand Canyon itself.
I've been walking heavy.